Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you kind of early afternoon, and sorry that I didn't do this video sooner for the new Reason Why episode. And this is for the reason why 2020 had new music to keep us sane because of COVID uh, episode that I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to discuss what I'm going to be talking about for this topic at hand for the new Reason Why episode that I usually do every Sunday, and let you know my thoughts on what I think of this topic. So let's dive into this video. Now, sorry if I'm looking away. I'm just looking at my notebook to make sure that I'm talking about the right topic. Because this topic I wanted to talk about for a bit. Because 2020, even though it was not a good year for everyone, I still think the music was not that terrible. There was some good music, like Seether dropped their album. Uh, the Civis Pacem Parabellum, or Pacem Parabellum, is how you pronounce it. Uh, which means oh, I forgot what it meant, but I'll have to look into it again. Uh, so sorry about that. If you want peace, prepare for war. I think it stands for. I think. Uh, but yeah. Then From Ashes to New released their album. I believe it was called Bulletproof or something like that, or something like that. I'm not sure what the album title was called again, but I'll have to look into it again because it was actually not a terrible album, even though they did kind of do this rip off kind of Linkin Park vibe for most of their songs in that album. It wasn't that terrible. It's still executed very well. It seemed like a rip off of Linkin Park that they were going for, but it's how they were wanting their sound to sound like. So it wasn't terrible. There were certain songs that didn't sound like it and sounded like their normal songs, but for the most part, it did feel like a Linkin Park album that they were trying to go for. Um, Next was, well, there was some bad music last year, like Theory of a Dead Man's album, Say Nothing. Fuck that album, and fuck Theory of a Dead Man for that album. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I just fucking hated that album. And also, Five Finger Death Punch's new album was, not for me. I tried getting into it. I tried having an open mind about it, but it failed. It just failed miserably. It was the same childish bullshit that Ivan Moody was singing about, like how he wanted to be at the bottom of the top or something like that. And then he made a song called A Little Bit Off, which that song's growing on me, but it's not my favorite song. But it does have not a bad beat, I guess you could say. But I didn't like the lyric, "You can all fuck off today." And yeah, next, uh, there were some albums in October that I quite enjoyed. Um, Gotta remember, there was quite a bit of albums in October. There was Bring Me the Horizon dropped their EP, or whatever you call it. It's a recording that they called it, uh, Post-Human Survival Horror. That was a great EP. I'm still gonna call it an extended play because it came out as an extended play, but it was very enjoyable. Um, they may have had a featured artist, few featured artists in the album or the EP, I guess you could say. Teardrops has grown on me so much to where I really love it now. Obey was very good, so was Parasite Eve. I really enjoyed that. Then In Flames dropped their EP, or or so, and yeah, their 20th anniversary edition for what's the album called? The album with Only for the Week, and uh I know what the album's called, but I kind of forgot. Clayman? Yeah, Clayman. That's what it's called. Sorry if I'm forgetting names of albums. I I listened to a lot of music in 2020, and there was some good music, there was some iffy music, and then there was bad music. And I don't want to look at the bad music and say that it's the worst thing I've heard. Yes, the year was a clusterfuck of a mess with how COVID was going around, but there was music to keep us sane through the year. Um, and towards the end of the year, I think it got very good with how it ended with a bang with the end of the year. The last album I heard in 2020 was Paul McCartney's McCartney 3, and that was not a bad album. And also, Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon 3 was actually not too bad. Um, wasn't my favorite album, but it did good. Um, and Youngblood's, well, there were two Hollywood Undead albums last year. There was New Empire Volume 1 in February last year. Then there was New Empire Volume 2 in December. So, New Empire Volume 2 was not my favorite, but it didn't do so bad. Uh, After listening to it more, I guess it's an album to appreciate a bit with what they were going for. It wasn't so bad, and sorry for my yawning. Um, got a little bit more to talk about, then I'm gonna wrap this video up. This Reason Why episode up for what I want to talk about. There's a few more things to talk about. You have Breaking Benjamin dropped their Aurora compilation album in January last year. Louis Tomlinson dropped his solo album. I think it's his debut solo album for Walls. I actually thought it was really good, but apparently critics were bashing it and saying that it wasn't as great as people thought. Clint Lowery from Seven Dust did a very good job on his album, along with Seven Dust dropping their album Blood and Stone in October of last year. So not that long ago, but still. Um, then you had Smith and Myers, Zach Myers and Brent Smith from Shinedown drop their, I guess you call it an EP for, or an album. I'm gonna call it an album because it was known as an album for the 10 tracks it delivered. Um, it didn't deliver great the second volume, but it did alright. And sorry about I don't know, it's my phone or whatever going off with notifications. Um, but yeah, I still think 2020 had some good moments. And I had some moments where I wasn't sure if I liked it as much. But I know 2021 is starting to hype up to be a very good year so far. Even though we're all getting our vaccines now, I think this year might be an improvement of a year, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a better year. Uh, for music, somewhat for movies, because movie theaters are starting to open up again, and that's a cool thing. So, yeah, certain movie theaters, some of them have gone bankrupt and not come back. And sorry that you heard that notification ding again. It's my phone going off. But comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of this pretty long episode for the reason why new episode I did for the reason why 2020 had new music to keep us sane because of COVID. And if you did like this episode review, or this not episode review, this new reason why episode I made for you guys this late morning going into early afternoon now. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I would talk about more music, but that happened. There was some good music in 2020. Very good music, like Lady Gaga, Chromatica, and all that. And there was more music, like Make Them Suffer's new album, How to Survive a Funeral. There was some pretty good metalcore music last year, too. So I quite enjoyed the year 2020 with the music-wise. But my mental health was acting up last year a bit. This year, I'm looking a little bit more to the positive side of how 2021 is going to favor. And the first half of 2021 for me has done very well. May have had some setbacks from time to time, but for what it's going for with my year and how I'm doing this year, it's not doing so terrible. But anyways, I will be returning to you for a movie review for The Quiet Place Part 2 in a little bit, and then I'll be doing some other reviews for track reviews. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the day, and I'll try to do another review on Monday if I can, if I come around to it, of course. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reason why episode I did for the reason why 2020 had new music to keep us sane because of COVID. I know it's a very long title, but this is the episode I wanted to do. And next, I only have like 2 more episodes to do for reason why, and then I'm gonna wrap it up by July 25th for the recap videos. But stay safe, take care. Hopefully, you enjoyed this new reason why episode. I know it's a very long one, but I had a little bit to talk about for this episode, and I'll definitely see you in my next video.